Hey guys, welcome back to another video on the Inside Spurs channel. Happy Saturday morning. I hope we're all okay. I hope we're all looking forward to a good weekend. Whatever it is that you're up to this weekend, I hope the weekend treats you as good as it possibly can do. Obviously, in this video, though, we are talking a little bit around the Eberechi Eze situation. We're talking about the interest in Patrick Dorgu, a player that we've been interested in previously. So I'll be talking about him. We'll talk about the England game, obviously, that's today at 5 p.m. UK time. We'll talk about the games yesterday as well. Obviously, we did a watch along on the second channel, the Andy Levy YouTube channel, for the France Germany game. That was a great little watch along. Thank you to anyone who did join me. Obviously, I didn't do a watch along for the France Portugal game. I'm glad. It was a horrific game of football, and I wished neither team went through. And I wish I had Germany and Spain go at it again, personally, because that was dreadful to watch. Just want to say, though, if you're new and watching this, subscribe. You're very much welcome to join us for the journey. Morning, Van Gogh, mate. That's all right. I know you'll watch it in your own time. As in Slanky is my dream. Morning, Polly. How are you? Morning, Tottenham. Hello, Andy, and everyone in the chat. Just having a barbecue for my daughter's 6th birthday. Well, Milton, enjoy the barbecue, mate. Make sure you have a burger for me. But happy 6th birthday to your daughter. Morning, Spurs, mate. Cheers for the good watch along yesterday. Thanks for that. Appreciate it, mate. It was a decent little watch along. I enjoyed it. Just hanging out with you guys and just chatting football, which is lovely. It wasn't always about Spurs. It was about all sorts. Morning, Callum, mate. How are you? Morning, Brian. Morning, Alez. Morning, Joshua. He's on the way to the gym. What are you training at the gym, Joshua? I've been. It was Saturday. So Saturday is arms day for me. Hey, Sun Knight. How are you? So, yeah. Plenty of good stuff to get into. Let's not dilly-dally, and let's jump in. So let's start with the Eberechi Eze report. So it came from Dean Jones, who said that Spurs have been in contact with Eberechi Eze. The player is open to a transfer this summer. His release clause set at £60 million plus a further £8 million in add-ons. Spurs are not opposed to spending on targets they consider the right player. Now, I want to add my own caveat to that, because I think Spurs are not opposed to spending on the right players and what have you. But I also think Spurs are realistic. You're not spending 50, 60 million in one summer on one player outright. The aim is to try and spread this deal out over 5 years. FFP then not being a concern because of it. If you have to spend big on one player this summer, it makes some of your other summers suffer, but it also makes this summer especially suffer. So as much as I like Eze, and I do like Eze, as you all know, Eze was like my number one guy. If this is a case that Palace won't budge and they don't want to play ball, which they're more than welcome not to play ball, by the way. I'm not saying they should play ball, but let's say they're not going to play ball, then I think Spurs should look elsewhere. I think Spurs should look at going, right, well, let's go and get a couple of players for the money that we'd have spent on Eze. Let's take 70 million. Let's buy a couple of players. Let's go and get that other fullback. Let's go and get another, centre back. Let's go and get more midfielders. And as quite a few of you have said, stack out the team. If you stack out the team, then next summer, in reality, you'll only need 2 or 3 really good players, but you'll be ready to integrate 2 or 3 really good players. Because Spurs are still, good 10 to 12 players off. But let's say if they get 5 or 6 this summer, maybe another couple in January, maybe 1 or 2 in January, then you're looking at the summer after and going, actually, 4 or 5 is what we need. And we can go and get 2 marquee names. Maybe Eze's a name next summer. Maybe another, brilliant midfielder or even another attacker, and going, right, a couple of little bits and bobs here, and we're ready to go. And maybe that's the way that Spurs could look at it. I'm not saying that's the way you should, but I'm just saying that's what they could look at it. It's a difficult one, that situation, really. Morning, JC. Morning, Bobby the Greek. 6 a.m. in the States. Nice. Chest and triceps day, but I'm getting in early so I can watch the England game. Good, man. Good to get a workout in. And yeah, England, we'll talk about that in a bit. Howdy, Mark, mate. How are you? Morning, Sofian, mate. How are you? Okay, you all right? Calafiori to Arsenal seems imminent thoughts. It's one that, we've missed out on, but I don't think it was one that we were truly ever going to be there for. As I've said a few times, Sun Night, it's one of those that Spurs were probably a season too early in their trajectory. Spurs probably needed Calafiori to be a move for next summer. So it's unfortunate, but that's the way football works, you know. France beat Portugal because of João Felix. France and beat. I think France got somewhat lucky. Portugal were the better team, but both teams were awful. Awful. Both teams were so bad. Like I said, Sofiane, I'd rather Spain and Germany have a round 2. I'd rather just do that. Neither team deserved to go through. And as much as Spain, I think, were blessed by refereeing, I want Spain to absolutely demolish France. That's as much as I'd rather play France, because I think England could probably beat France. Both teams have poor management. And, well, Mbappe is absolutely ghosting this tournament. As much as Ronaldo gets given loads of stick, Mbappe's been awful. You know, people give Kane stick. At least Kane scored a goal from open play, you know? And also Kane's better than Mbappe, and I won't have anyone tell me otherwise. Activate the release clause. It's just a lot of money to be paying up front, Alez, mate. Morning, walking the dog, and it starts pouring. Lovely British summer. Yeah, Shem, it is awful. It was raining, I think, overnight where I was, and it started drizzling as I was on my way to the gym this morning at about 7 a.m. So not great. Hey, Andy, sorry, been busy, but good to be back. Well, it's good to have you back, Iqbal, mate. I hope you're all right. Hello, Mr. Andy. Good morning. Good morning to you too, mate, as well. How are you? Do you think Calafiori will play over Gabriel? No, I think Calafiori will play left back. Spain, Germany, 2 teams trying to win. Portugal, France, 2 teams trying not to lose. I think that's a fair representation, Shem, mate, because I think both teams. I think Portugal tried. You know, they were attacking. I thought Kainsao was good at right wing. Leao was doing Koundé loads of issues. I thought Nuno Mendes was brilliant at left back. Vitinha, by the way, in midfield. What a player Vitinha is. I really like him. For such a sort of slight human being, quite a small person, he was very, very impactful in that midfield. He was better than all of France's midfielders. You know, the horrific lack of creativity those midfielders have. Koulibaly couldn't finish his dinner if he tried. Ousmane Dembele looked good when coming on, but he's looked rubbish this tournament as well. So France just aren't. France of a few years ago, you were more worried about. France of this, I'm not as worried about. Not as worried about. I think Spain beat them. Even with Spain, you know, Spain obviously missing Carvajal now. They're missing Morata because Morata's an idiot. As a captain and a guy who's in his 30s, he gets booked for a celebration. Be more switched on. Have a brain cell or two up here. You know, realize that you go, I'm on a booking. I've come off the pitch. I've been subbed off. I'll play the next game if we go through. Then don't celebrate like an idiot down the you know. Yeah, I still think Spain will do them. Because between Spain and France, who's got the best player? Spain. It's Rodri. Rodri is by far the best player in that tournament. Those 2 teams. He's better than all of France's midfielders by a good country mile. He's better than Mbappe. He's better than all of them. Absolutely all of them. And I think Dani Olmo looked fantastic yesterday. You know. Cruz should have had enough cards to be sent off twice. Yeah, there were that one on Pedri was a little bit naughty. He did touch the ball, but it was also, there was a lot of force. And a few years ago, that wouldn't have been a foul, let alone a booking. But today's football, it's a bit different. I mean, there was that situation of Cucurella's handball. Did we all think that was a handball? I mean, naturally, if I'm going to block a ball, my arms are pretty close to my side. His is out here and it's on its way back. And then he slapped it like a tennis ball. If 6 million is too expensive for Spurs to get a player, then would take to another level, then we should never sign players because we need class players don't come cheap these days. What Iqbal, it's not about the actual price of the player. 68 million, I think Daniel Levy would be fine paying. It's the actual structure of the deal. Palace want 50, 60 million up front, which no team does. Especially a team like Spurs who have the fact they still need to be buying 4 or 5 other players this summer. Not going to do it, you know. Why Marseille didn't play Jota? Marseille is not a good coach, mate. Not a good coach. How João Felix came on ahead of Diogo Jota, I don't know. Kante always does a job. Kante was all right. I thought he was quite quiet. I thought Vitinha was the best midfielder on that pitch. By the way, did you see Paulinho's booking, by the way? That beautiful. I mean, can I just say, of sliding tackles go, it was beautiful. And he got booked for it. He won the ball, didn't go in 2 foot, didn't go in a ton of force. Obviously, a French player decided to do, you know, back flips and front flips because someone sneezed near him. and he got booked for it. I couldn't believe it. I was like, that for an English referee who sees English tackling, he should know that is a great tackle. And Paulinho's foul, which wasn't, it was a magnificent tackle, got booked for it. And I was like, that epitomizes how bad refereeing is in England. It's awful. I mean, Anthony Taylor for the Germany-Spain game was atrocious. He added on an X amount of minutes, added on then another 3 minutes on top of that. And that's why Carvajal got sent off. The game should have been finished by then. Then you've got Michael Oliver for the Portugal-France game, and he was just as bad. It was embarrassing for English refereeing. Handball every day, yeah, fair enough. Morning, Liam, how are you? But he wasn't wearing a Spurs jersey. Well, Germany were like Spurs there. You don't get given penalties, lad. It's not how this works. We don't get given penalties. We have the ball in the box the most, but we don't get penalties. Yeah, I couldn't believe he got booked. It was embarrassing. Absolute embarrassment. Moving over to Patrick Dorgu. So from Scouts Attending, so Scouts in Attendance on Twitter. Good little page. Just seeing something else. They've said that Spurs are still interested in Patrick Dorgu. Lecce want 30 million euros for the left back. So let's call it 25 million pounds, right? I talked about Patrick Dorgu on this channel. Let me see if I can find it. Was it this one? Yeah. I talked about him on the 23rd of April. So we're talking now 6-7 weeks ago that I talked about Patrick Dorgu, and I kind of said he gives me the same sort of vibe as Destiny Udogie, you know, that athlete down the left wing, you know, that explosiveness, decent enough, you know, in tackling, which he would develop and improve more. You know, it does kind of look like the best left backs in the world at the moment are that more athlete style left back. You know, Robertson was a really good athlete. I mean, he still is, but you know what I mean? Robertson a few years ago was like, is there a better left back in the world? You know, you've got Nuno Mendes, athlete, Desi Udogie, athlete, but also they're not just athletes, they're also larger, aren't they? You know, Desi Udogie, no one realizes how big Desi Udogie actually is. It's why he does manhandle wingers. It's like when you watched him against Garnacho, and Garnacho couldn't handle Destiny's physicality. There's a reason, because that's what Destiny's game is. It's power running, power blocking, you know. So I like the move, because I think when we talk about players, when we're rotating, we don't want the style of play to drop off. We don't want it to change that much. The idea is we want to take like-for-like players and replace them. Dorgu gives me like-for-like attitudes around Destiny Udogie. And I have no issues with the left-hand side being maybe the more explosive side in terms of energy, speed, athleticism, you know, because you can mix in Maddison, who's got that bit more technical ability. And then on the right side, you've got, you know, Pedro Porro, it's less explosive, but good technical ability. You've got Pape, who maybe not as technically gifted, but athlete-wise, amazing. And then on the right side, you can either have a Kulusevski with, you know, the ability to whip in a ball and cut inside and give the ability for other players to go on the outside, or Johnson, who's got a bit more pace. So I like the balance of that side of things. I like the move. I said I did. I said I like the move of Patrick Dorgu, and I still like the move of Patrick Dorgu. It's maybe not the sexiest of names. You know, we're not signing Alphonso Davies. I get that. We're not signing Destiny Udogie 2.0 in theory, like a clone of him. But Destiny Udogie, no one truly understood how good he was going to be. And Spurs are in a realm of, we're using this data system. We're using all this analytic information to see if it suits this player. Does he suit Ange Ball? And if the data system is showing up loads of green flags to say this player suits Ange Ball, he suits what we're trying to look for, then I'm all for pulling the trigger. You know, the reason we got this analytical system is because we want to find gems. We want to find players that maybe people aren't thinking about. You know, because Spurs still need so much more in their squad, they're not spending 50, 60 million on every player. It's just not going to happen. Otherwise, it's going to be another 2 more years on top before Spurs get anywhere. And by that point, Romero may be gone, some other of the first team is gone, and then you're on another ending cycle of always trying to replace these players. Whereas if you can go and get an extra 2 players per year, or extra 2 or 3 players per year, because obviously you're not spending so much on each player, you actually speed that process up. You're less likely to lose than your real world-class players like Christian Romero, who is having an unbelievable Copa America. I like that idea, you know. Did I miss much, mate? Been chasing my kids around while making a barbecue. That's all right, Milton, mate. If you want to head off and get enjoy your daughter's barbecue, mate, please do. Watch this back in your own time, bud. There's no rush, Milton. Enjoy family. That's important, mate. My forward signer would be Eze, David, and Chiesa. Well, let's say David's 30. Let's say Chiesa's 25. Let's be a bit harsher on that. And Eze's 60 to start. I know it rises at 68, but let's say 60. If you're saying that's 115 million pounds, on the face of things, yeah, that's not crazy. But the issue is, Eze, you're having to spend so much up front, and you are hampering your own summer window by that regard, because obviously your ability then to spend is limited due to the sheer amount of money you have to put to this one deal in this one window. And I know, look, I know sales can maybe cover it, but you know what I'm saying? It's just not going to happen, you know? But obviously pre-season testing is today. So there's a lot of the players back today. I mean, Archie Gray's there. Lucas Bergvall is there today. Brennan Johnson, Ben Davies, Sergio Reguilon, Pedro Porro, who should be at the Euros, James Maddison, Valise is there, Brian Hill's there, some of the other youngsters are there. So it's pre-season testing. So I think pre-season training starts tomorrow. Precisely, I think it's tomorrow, which is lovely. I can't wait for some clips from training. It's always quite nice to see that the season's starting to gather up space and sorry, not a space, pace, and we're getting towards pre-season football, which obviously we play a game in not too long a time. So I'm really looking forward to that, to seeing some pre-season clips. You know, seeing the Archie Gray, Lucas Bergvall link up. There's no harm in that, is there? You know. Hopefully Palace will allow us to do some installments. I don't think they will, due to the fact that they've got Elise sold, you know. We don't need it, Eze. We got Turbo Timo. Evening, Lex, mate. How are you? Let's buy Eze, Dovbyk, Neto, and a good centre back for less than 240 million. Well, yeah, it'd be less than 240 million, David, but Dovbyk I don't think will be in for. It won't be Eze and Neto. Still forgot we still had Reguilon. Yeah, I know. He'll be gone this summer. He won't be staying. Give me Patrick Dorgu. I'd rather him. I mean, Man United fans on Twitter have been talking about, you know, getting Reguilon back. They can have him. They can have him back. Give us obviously that money, that 10 million that we want, and you can have him. Hi all, 8:20 p.m. Melbourne. Well, Peter, we started an hour early. So actually, this suits you, Peter. You're in the middle of your evening, night time, whatever you're up to. Peter, you're not starting a shift soon, though, are you, mate? Late as usual. Lex, you're late always, mate. You're late always. Reggie is leaving. Yeah, I think he'll be leaving. I'm not concerned about the situation, obviously. Getting him back, getting him healthy, it's easier than to move him on, because you can tell clubs he's fine. We've done pre-season testing. He's all right, you know. You are starting a shift soon. Absolute animal. Shout out, Peter. Shout out, Peter. Yeah, subscribe below if you're new. Subscribe. Thank you very much. And also, yeah, like I said, for people that weren't here when I first said my first thank you. Thank you all who joined me for the live watch along last night for the French-Germany game. It was not French-Germany. What am I on about? Spain-Germany. It was a cracking watch along. I really enjoyed it. So thank you all for joining me. If you do want to join me for other streams and things like that going forward, the second channel link is in my description below, as well as my social media handles. Find me there. 8:20 in Wollongong. Cool. Barbecue's nearly over, surely, Milton. So there is that. I want to quickly talk about England. I know it's not, which is Spurs, but let's talk about England quickly. Obviously, England play in just under 6 hours' time now. Oh, I'm going to need to talk about something ridiculous. Yeah, I'll talk about that in a minute. I've got another news story to talk about, chances-wise. Yeah, England game, 5 o'clock today. So we're talking just over 5.5 hours' time. England will be playing Switzerland at what could be Gareth Southgate's last ever match, but potentially his, well, you never know what happens. But yeah, England playing today. It's going to be it's not going to be a fun watch if you're an England fan. I'm not going to sit here and say England will win 3 or 4-0. The Swiss are a well-drilled team. They're a good team. It's tournament football. You never know what happens. For me, cannot let we have to win this in the 90 minutes. We can't let us go to extra time, because extra time, I think, just as much as the thing is, actually, let me rephrase this. Actually, extra time may not be a bad thing because of the sheer level of quality that England have in their squad. Their first 11 is great, but maybe the what you see on the bench, that's kind of what you're getting the vibe of, saying, actually, look at the depth that England have. And the depth of the attacking talent is incredible. Now, Conser apparently is replacing Mark Guehi tonight, the Aston Villa centre-back. And he is a centre-back. I know he plays a little bit of right-back for Villa, but he is a centre-back. There's a potential that England play a back three tonight, which would be Conser, Stones, and Walker. The full sort of the wing-backy midfielder, left midfield, right midfield, should be Saka on the left. Apparently it's Trippier on the right, which we're going to come to in a minute. And then obviously your midfield two should probably be Rice and Mainu. Apparently Bellingham and Foden are the two guys behind Kane. I hope Foden's on the right-hand side of that 2-10 situation and Bellingham's on the left. Foden on the right, sort of moving in and floating a little bit. I'm watching Bernardo Silva yesterday. I was like, that's what we should get Foden to do. Yes, he may start on the right, but he impacts the game where he thinks is best. And sometimes you saw Bernardo Silva out super wide, and sometimes he was in the centre, and he had the freedom to do that, and Bernardo was brilliant for it. We should be looking at Phil Foden and giving him a bit more freedom to kind of roam and basically hurt the other team as he seems fit. He's clever enough to do it. He gets taught by Pep Guardiola, for goodness sake. I'm sure he can handle, England football in that regard. But yes, I was hoping Trippier wouldn't be the guy at right back. Hopefully it was going to be Trent. Because if you go Trent at right wing back and you've got Walker sitting behind him, if the ball goes over the top, I've got the quickest right back in the world dealing with it. I don't mind. You know what I mean? So shame on that front, but interesting how that works. It would be a 3-4-2-1. That's the sort of formation they're going to go for. Saka and Bellingham down the one side. Maybe that could be quite good. I don't know. I don't know what you guys think of that 3-4-2-1. I don't know what you think. As long as it is as crazy as last night, yeah. Fair play, mate. Kind of nervous for tonight's game. Yeah, don't blame you. I think you're spot on about high-intensity players, marquee signings. No use of that high intensity. We could also almost keep who we have now and in the second year for a huge improvement. True. Isn't sure fit enough to play left back. Yeah, but Iqbal, he's not played since February. So he's not going to have 90 minutes in those legs. He'll have half an hour in my eyes. And it's too risky to throw Shaw in this early. For me, if we're 3-0 up with, if we're 2-0 up with 10 minutes to go, I might throw Shaw on. But, I do want to get Shaw some minutes. And people kind of going, yeah, but you don't want to risk him. It's like, well, he has to get some minutes at some point. Because if we're going into this whole tournament, and we may need Shaw at left back at some point. If we go through this round, you're playing Turkey or Holland in the round after. You may need a left back for one of those games. Now, Mark Guehi will be back for one of those games, but you may need a left back. And if Shaw's not going to be able to play in that start of that game, because if he's not fit enough, get him 10, 15, 20 minutes today, he might be able to give you 60, 70 minutes, and maybe that's all you need. You never know. So, no, not 5-2-2-1. It'll be a 3-4-2-1. Do you rate Kevin Danso? He looks solid in the US. Yeah, he did, didn't he? He looked a bit like a physical beast. Taught. I'm not sure what you mean by that, JW. Unless you're about to teach me something. I'm always happy to learn, mate. So what do you guys think? Let's do a little poll for the England game tonight. So when I say England or Switzerland, you could say that's also them to win on penalties, but I also put draw and then going into extra time. Let me know what you think. I'm interested to know what you guys think on that front. I think it could be a draw extra time. I'm an England fan. Obviously, I'm going to hope. I'm going to be hoping England are 12-0 up at half-time. Obviously, it's not going to happen, but I hope England are turning up. I don't mind if it's a 2-1 win, but if England look bloody good, I can kind of get on board with that, So I think it's going to stick with a 4-2-3-1. Well, apparently, because of the lack of left-back options, even though Joe Gomez played like 15 games at left-back at Liverpool, supposedly they're going to change the system and go with 3 centre-backs, with Walker being viewed as a centre-back. Looking super fit, Andy, hitting the gym. That's it, mate. That's it. Hitting the gym. I've got the beers tonight. I've got a friend's birthday. So I'll be hitting the beers. Watching the England game at the pub. Crying 3 minutes in when we're 1-0 down. But no, I'm looking forward to it. It should be a good day. But yeah, hitting the gym this morning. I was up at, I think, about 6:15 a.m. Took the dog for a walk. Came home, had my breakfast, and off to the gym I went. 5-2 England. Love it, Lex. I'd bloody love a 5-2. We could do a little knockout game being a bit of a high scorer. We could do with one of those. And like a competitive high score. Maybe it's Turkey, Holland that are going to do that, You're a Guinness man, aren't you? I am a Guinness man. I might have 1 or 2 today. And by 1 or 2, I mean 8 to 10. England win easy 4-1, though. Will not win the final. William Webb. Double W. 4-1 I'll take, though. I don't want to take that other idea of not winning the final, but at least I'll take that. England can play any combo from previous games, but need to release the Kraken. Foden and Mainu have shown they can push forward, but nobody else seems to. Chris, I liked what I saw from Mainu. With Foden, I think we just need to give him a bit more freedom. He's a bit rigid. We stick him out on the left and we don't move him. Let him float a little bit. Let him go where he thinks he can impact the game the most. Damn, I must have forgotten I'm an Aussie. Yeah, you're showing some wrong colours there, Lex. Who you reckon comes in before our pre-season game? What do you mean, Joshua? Do you mean in terms of a purchase, or do you mean of what do you mean? What do you mean? So let's have a look at this poll. England in a boring 2-1 extra time. So yeah, kind of similar to the last game. So by the looks of things, England win or a draw extra time is kind of the... Oh, Switzerland have actually leveled up. They leveled up. Incomings. Maybe a Desiree Doué, potentially. That still seems to be warm at the moment. But obviously, let's talk about this. Portugal went out yesterday. Obviously, they lost to France. That, in theory, if you're talking about Pedro Neto, that deal should now... I wouldn't say speed up now, because obviously you want to give him a few days to kind of get over the situation. But the freedom to get that deal to speed up is technically now here. Now, if England got it today, that could potentially speed up a Tony Gallagher Eze deal, depending if they're still in for those 3 players. Germany went out. I don't think there's anyone in for Germany that Spurs are in for, so I don't think that makes a difference. France might have been one. Obviously, Fofana is someone they're still quite keen on, but by the looks of things, we'll have to see on that one. France obviously playing Spain in the next round, which... Just want to have a look at the Euro fixtures. Just want to see when the semi-final... So Spain, France play Tuesday at 8 p.m. And England, if they were to win this game, will go through and play Wednesday at 8 p.m. And then the final, if they were to go through that, is on Sunday, 8 p.m. So 8 days' time, the Euros are done pretty much. So there you go. I wanted my beloved Portugal to win, but that's not going to happen. So let's go Turkey. Well, let's go England, Milton. Let's give us some love, mate. Spurs will have impressive signings and surprise Celtic with signings and then mentioned by the media. Well, that's the thing, William. Sometimes working in the shadows, in the quiet, maybe isn't the sexiest, cool thing for us fans. Sometimes it's always the best thing, Slanky Eze. So, yeah, Polly's been on the Slanky Eze train. That's for sure. That's for sure. Right. Also, summer fruit squash. Summer fruit squash. You know the rules. And so do I, as Rick Astley would tell me. Right. I need a favour from you guys on the stream. Little small favour, because what I want to do is I want to send this to... Andy, you live in Oz, you know what an Aussie thinks of Poms. I know. Milton, the joke is though for Poms, aren't you all Poms anyway? Aren't you? You know, aren't you not the descendants of our Poms? That always winds an Aussie person up, and I love it. I love it. I want to see Bergvall, Gray, and Madison start the first game. Well, they might in pre-season. Yeah, they might. I'm Portuguese. I'm not having that, Milton. Not having it. No, right. I need a favour from you all. Because it is my friend's birthday today. I want to be able to send him this. I basically, in the chat, as it's Milton's daughter's birthday as well. So happy birthday, Milton's daughter. And Milton is a legend of the chat. I just want, I'm gonna put in the comment box what I want you to do. I just want you to put happy birthday, Tom, in the chat for me. Just for my friend whose birthday it is today. Well, not today, it's in a few days, but it's his evening out tonight. And we'll be enjoying the football together. We'll be enjoying plenty of beers and everything. He's having brunch at the moment with his family because he's delayed the pub by now, which I'm not impressed by, but it is his birthday. So we'll shout him out for his birthday. So I appreciate everyone that has said that will say happy birthday to him because he's a legend. He's a legend, our Tom. So happy birthday, Tom. Yeah, happy birthday, Milton's daughter, Amelia Rose. Lovely name. Happy birthday. Some of us came here without chains. So there you go, Peter. You're hanging around soft Aussies. If that winds them up. Yeah, we're good at us English. We like to wind everyone up. Thank you, Milton. Thank you, Joshua, Alez, MJG. Thank you all for the happy birthdays to my friend. He very much appreciate those things. We're never going to give you up inside. Nice one. It was my birthday last Wednesday. Well, happy birthday last Wednesday, Polly. And thank you for my friend's happy birthday as well. So very much appreciated. I'll make sure to make him aware of the happy birthdays when we're at the pub later. I've got him one of those little badges, birthday boy. I was going to buy him a happy 4th birthday card, but I thought that might be a step too far. But yeah, thank you, John, as well. Thank you. Thanks, Lex, as well, for the happy birthday to him. Appreciate that. Very much appreciate that. Lovely, lovely community as per. This is a great community. This is my favourite place to be on a Saturday morning after the gym. I like the gym as well. But just to say happy birthday to people. But yeah. Just want to say thanks again to Milton, Joshua, Les, MJG. Thanks to Polly, obviously. John, Lex. Hopefully Tom doesn't pay for a beer all night. Well, Milton, I don't mind him paying me for a beer for me, mate. I don't mind that. But no, thank you all so much for wishing happy birthday. I appreciate that. He'll be very happy with that. A lot of us ran as hard as we couldn't, and some of us stole that loaf of bread to get a free ride. Yeah, I wish I'd take me. There's my hands. You might need slightly bigger handcuffs for my wrists because they're quite big, but take me. I'll jump on a boat for a few weeks. Not a problem. I mean, the flight was 26 hours in total from London Gatwick to Abu Dhabi, stop over there for a couple of hours, and then to Sydney, which I think was like a 13-hour flight. But yeah, I've done the flight myself. It's not the easiest, I think, but it was worth it. Although it's absolutely hammering down when I got to Sydney the first day I was there. What a surprise. I left England, it's raining. I get to Sydney and it was raining. You know what I mean? England 3-0. Love it, Polly. Love it. Problem is the correct spelling. Prisoner of Mother of England. Whilst many were Irish Scots, there were many sent to America as prisoners. There you go. William's teaching us, which is always nice. Always nice. Thank you, William. You are being rather biased towards Portugal. I thought it was an even game. To be fair, the French had chances to win as Portugal. No, so did. I'm not saying they didn't, Colin, but French played some pretty miserable football at times, and they relied on fortuitous bounces to create their chances at times. Ousmane Dembele was a good introduction to the game. I thought Griezmann looks a little bit off at this tournament. Maybe it's the style of play that they're playing, but it looks a little bit off it. And I think he worked well with Giroud with it, knocking down to him and things like that. And Mbappe's a passenger out there at times. But yeah, I don't know. Colin, I don't think either team were good enough to go through. I thought they were embarrassing, both teams, to be honest. You got, as someone said in the chat earlier, France and Portugal played to not lose, and Spain and Germany played to win. And that's why, give me another 120 minutes of Spain-Germany. Wipe off all suspensions. Let them go again. I think I could speak for the majority of countries going, yeah, I'd rather watch that again. Thanks, Janice. Appreciate that. Jessica, no place I'd rather be inside start. Polly, too kind. Smash the likes, people. Thanks, Liam, mate. You're always welcome in Oz, Andy. We love you. Well, I will be back at some point, hopefully in the next few years. Not permanently, but I'll be back. And you never know if Spain do maybe, not Spain, if Australia do Spurs. There we go. English is failing me. If Spurs do a pre-season thing in Australia, maybe I'll go out there as well whilst they're out there. Why not? Next trip down, and they drop into Bargra in Queensland for a beer, about 16 kilometers from Fraser Island by boat, 3 north of Noosa. Well, I've been to Fraser Island. I've been to Noosa. I never went to Bargra, so I'll have to, Lex. I'll have to get that beer. I'll have to cash in. The heart of Australia is Queensland, not Sydney, or Melbourne. I live in the Great Way to the Great Barrier Reef, 1,800 kilometers north of Sydney Scum. Damn, William's not a fan of Sydney. I've been in the Great Barrier Reef. I went head on head with a shark. They told me, make sure you don't go drinking the day before you go scuba diving. And I went, I'm English and Irish. I don't think you understand the ability that I have. So obviously, I went drinking, as I did. Went to the Great Barrier Reef, did my scuba diving. I saw a puffer fish, without it being a puffer, it exploded, if you know what I mean. Saw clams, I saw all sorts, which was amazing. The scuba diving Great Barrier Reef was incredible. And then I was just having a bit of a snorkel and a bit of a swim. I could see at this distance, this big old tail doing this. And I was like, what is that? Didn't take my eyes off it. And it was a shark. And I was like, great. I sort of looked up to see if anyone was around me. And I was on my own. I was like, good. This is going to be fun. Obviously, I know the Great Barrier sharks aren't as big. And he swam on by me. No. Normally they're okay, but if they have their days where they'll eat a human, and they swam on by me, no issues. And I didn't see right next to it, there's a little fish that was nibbling at it. It was doing something to this shark to annoy it. I've never seen a shark do a 180 so quick in my life. It was like bang, and I was like, oh, I thought I was scot-free. And it came swimming back my way, and I was like, this is why you don't go drinking the night before, because you have to deal with a shark one-on-one. And it just did another 180 and swam away again. It was, yeah. But the week after, apparently 3 or 4 people were eaten in the Great Barrier Reef. So I got lucky. That's what I would say. But yeah, there's my near-death experience with a shark. And I didn't fancy my chances because I was not as big as I was back then. I was probably about 11 stone, about 70 kilograms. I was very ripped and, had some muscle, but not a lot. Now I'm like 90, ripped, a lot more muscle. And yeah, I don't think I would have done very well. I'd love to swim with sharks. Yeah, I wasn't that great. Perth is beautiful. I never went to Perth, Milton. Tanganga to Millwall, absolutely. You meet me in Oz if you came. A good man. I would expect, yeah, if I came to Oz, I'd expect everyone to link up together for a night of pints. Talking Spurs and talking nonsense. Did you need to change your wetsuit, lol? I'm not saying anything. We Queenslanders tend to not like the New South Welshmen or Victorians. Most tend to support the Manure. Oh, I'm learning something. William's come in here. He's dropping bombs. I'm loving it. Perth, Oz, Perth, Scotland. Okay. Oh, Les coming fighting back. Perth, Australia. Yeah. The shark must like me. The shark did like me. I wasn't that fond on it. More great whites in the Perth. Yeah. Anywhere where the beach was like, mate, don't go in there. I was like, I will not test that. I will not go in those waters. Yeah. Noosa was not Noosa, Cairns in the north. That was a big one. Don't go in the ocean. Don't bother. There's a lagoon there for a reason. You know what I mean? Got a big scar on my left foot from surfing at Noosa Head. Shark bite. Doc said 24 stitches. Found out no shark nets in the back. Oh, Polly got away with it. Perth, Scotland better. We got super junkies. There, yeah. No pints in Oz, just schooners. Well, that's true. There's no pints in Oz. Maybe if I come along, I'll change that. We're having pints. I'll have to go to a glass manufacturer and say, right, I need you to do this for me. I'm going to get them to create me pint glasses. And I'm going to go, right, now I go drinking, I'm bringing my own glass. I'm sorry I'm late. What's the Eze news? Zane. Zane, you need 40 minutes late, mate. Just for you, Zane, I will repeat the Eze news if I can still have it on my screen. I will repeat it for just you. Give me a second. I need to go and find it now. Because I did have it to hand, and now it's gone. Oh, yeah. Jaffet Tanganga joining Millwall permanently. Good luck to old Jaffet. Right. Let me find this bit again for you. So Dean Jones said that Spurs have been in contact with Eberechi Eze. The player is open to a transfer this summer. He has a release clause set at 60 million plus a further 8 million in add-ons. Spurs are not opposed to spending big on targets they consider the right player. So there you go. That was the Eze news for you, bud. All right. What have I missed? What have I missed? Oh, that crocodile's up north. Yeah, I didn't go near any crocodiles, mate. I'm not having. I don't fancy my fight in there. You know. I saw the video of a woman. Yeah, that was grim. Someone sent it to me, and I was like, "That's grim." And then someone said she's got bigger calves than me, and I was not impressed by that. Anything past Bundaberg? Too many crocs. Yeah, I won't be going past there then. Chiesa? Question mark. Nothing new on him today, Caleb. We'd love to see a shark in the wild, but don't find many in the Thames off of Gravesend. No, you're not going to find them in Kent, mate. Not going to find them in Kent. Shark didn't fancy a drink, clearly. Yeah, there was probably way too much alcohol in my system. I was on the beers. I was on the goon, which is box wine, for anyone that doesn't know what that is. Box wine, and I was on the rum and cokes. I took a Swedish guy who was he was wondering what makes the English so good at drinking. And I said, well, come drinking with me. I'll show you why we're so good. And I said, whatever you order, I'll order as well. But we have to go together to get the next drink. So we're drinking at the same speed. And he was like, yeah, easy. We started on the vodka lemonade. So I'm not a big vodka lemonade, but he was. And I said, oh, just drink what he drinks because I can handle it. And then after 2 of those, I went, let's get a couple of tequilas in. And within half an hour, he was back in his room throwing up. He couldn't handle it. And I continued my night out. I was having a worldie of a time. Needless to say, the English can go. When we want to put our foot down, we go. We drink to forget things. That's the way the English drink. We don't drink for fun half the time. And we're saying, latest Polly, you're early. Yeah, Marshall, I went to the gym a bit earlier, walked the dog and everything like that. So it was a bit early. So I made sure to allow a few more of the Aussies to join me before, obviously, they head off for bedtime. Saltwater crocs and box jellyfish. The problem with far north Queensland, Cairns is 2,000 kilometers north of Brisbane. You can fit the whole of Europe, including UK into Australia. Yeah, you probably could. You probably could. Oh, the box wine, they're great. They're usually cheap and come with a blow-up pillow when you finish. Good shout, Lex. I think it was $16 for a 4 litre. That's when I was there. As a Portuguese, we're big drinkers. Yeah, but come on. You're talking about a person who's got the patron saint of Scotland as his name, who's Irish and English. I've got like the holy trinity of drinking ability. Plus, I'm also a lot larger than a normal human being. So a litre bottle of rum, and we're still enjoying a very nice night out, you know. Have I ever? No, Marshall, I've never done that. Lex, mate. I took Australians out for a drink and absolutely annihilated them. I did it. I took it as a challenge, and I was 6 stone less in weight back then. So my drinking ability was actually lower. Now, no chance. I could be drinking for days and still have room to maneuver. Let's go drink. Well, I tell you what, when I'm in Australia, we'll do a bit of a Inside Spurs channel link up, and we'll all go get some schooners, as I call them, pints, but they're not actually pints in Australia. But I'll make sure that when I'm there, we'll call them pints for the evening. All right, let's go get another pint. You're all like, I keep forgetting what pints are, and I go, mate, come on. But yeah, we'll definitely do that. Obviously, I won't be doing a 7 p.m. stream tonight. I'll be on the pints. Okay, so I won't be doing that. I'll be very much away, causing myself bodily harm basically by it. Back tomorrow, obviously doing videos. So don't worry, back tomorrow doing it. It's just gutted. There's no football tomorrow. I'm gutted with that. Pub crawl, absolutely. Oh, you proper. Nice one, others. Nice one. But yeah, thank you all so much for joining with me. What I wish you all, another person. Hello, my friend. How are you doing today? I'm good, mate. I'm actually finishing up, by the way. Sorry, mate. I'm sorry to say. But thank you very much. I hope you're okay. Thanks, Liam. Yes, thank you all for joining with me. Thank you all for wishing my friend Tom a happy birthday. I very much appreciate that as well. Absolute legends, all of you. Make sure you enjoy the rest of your evenings if you're in Australia. Peter, don't work too hard tonight. Milton, wrap up the barbecue, kick your feet up. And, well, you're probably not going to be awake for the game, but enjoy the rest of your evening, bud. Same with you, Lex, Ren, all of you. Kick your feet up and enjoy it. I'll see you all tomorrow talking more Spurs, which I'm looking forward to. Thank you very much, Milton. Thanks, Sonia. And Marshall Pepe was immense yesterday. Fair play to him. There's a thumbs up. Don't know why. I've got my AirPods case in my hand. But yes, enjoy the rest of your days, everyone, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Take care, everyone. See you later.